Hello and welcome back, everyone. This is John RMS, aka Ace Bullion, and today I want to talk about bars. Now, I know I talked about bars in my previous video on Friday, and this is something that I really wanted to go into a bit more detail because why choose bars over, well, rounds or just American Silver Eagles? Well, I don't see a problem, for a start, with having any kind of bullion at all. I think bullion is bullion, and that's great. Whatever your budget is, whatever your preference is, then you definitely should, buy whatever you can afford. But saying that, I also think that there's a problem with that. How so? Well, it's about the weight, it's about the consumption, it's about storage, and it's about value for money overall. Don't worry, all of these are due to be melted, so I don't have an issue touching them. But overall, if I was to take this coin and put it in my stack, I'd put a case on it most likely, a plastic capsule, and that would it. Now, okay, you're saying, well, what about if I just buy tubes? Well, that's fine too. You'll have a tube. These are Canadian, these are smaller than the American Eagles, but overall that adds up. What about my budget? Oh, that's a good one. So as we're gonna progress and look, all of this is mine, bar these two bars here, which I just featured on my video. So what about my budget? I can't afford a lot. I can't do anything. Okay, right. Well, let's have a look here. And these are the smallest two bars that I could find in my collection. We have a 5 gram Scottsdale bar and a 5 gram Northwest Territory bar. Note that you'll see a huge difference for the Scottsdale. That's why this one appears much larger than the small little dinky Scottsdale bar, which is incredibly small. Do I recommend these? Absolutely not. But they're a novelty. But silver, right? Here we go. 2 5 grams. Now, I was trying to look for a 1 gram because I'm pretty sure I have one, but I couldn't find one. So let's move up the range a little bit. And why I think bars are the way forward. Bars, for a start, are compact, they're small, usually, and they still can, demand a nice premium. And bars tend to be very collectible as the years go on, as do, by the way, coins. But for storing them, for the main part, there is a but in there. For the main part, they're much easier to store and much more confined. So as we move up from 10, we'll jump to 20. And this is one of the Nadir products. There you go. Now, this is ridiculous, let's be honest. This is the size of a credit card, about 3 times as thick. It is 20 grams. Now, let's just take an American Eagle, honestly. You see the difference? You're better off doing this. So right now, this is outweighing this, but then again, hey, this is just a silly price. So what about 1 ounce bars? Well, we have a variety here. I have one here from the Sunshine Mint, and we have a Dragon bar, which is this is an old Dragon bar as well. I just pulled it out. But yeah, so if I wanted to keep these and collect them, I could either A, leave them in the pouch like this Scottsdale. Again, kind of roomy. It takes up far too much excess. In fact, it's almost half the thickness all over again. I can maybe put it in a capsule. Yeah. Okay. But then again, why not just take my 1 ounce bar of, or 1 ounce round of silver and do that? Well, here's where we get a bit interesting. Most safes are overlap it, I mean, because it actually shows better, but here we go. I'll try to get it into the right bit. Most safes are in a square or rectangular form. This would be easier to store than this, but I still wouldn't go with a case. I'd go without it. Without a case, you're laughing. You could stack them up much higher, but no. So then we start moving up into other bars such as, again, hey, let's just grab another Scottsdale. This is one of the 100-gram bars. Absolutely beautiful. I showed this one on the last video, the Meadowlark. The only problem I have with these are that they come with a certificate of authenticity, which corresponds to the serial number on the bottom. So we have 1, 2, 3, 888, and that should match up with this one. 1, 2, 3, 888. It's not a measure, but unnecessary. And the 100-gram bars are great. In fact, those are the ones I would say, because you're going to need, you know, just over 3 ounces of silver. And if you were protecting these or whatever, so 3 and a little bit, not much, probably 90 something there. So you're probably looking at, here you go. Let's just grab a 10 for a minute. There you go. So you need all that silver to add up to one of these. You can already see the difference in how to stack properly. But we can move on to another point, which is the fact that as you start investing in larger bars, you will see that spot price, or the price for the silver itself, starts becoming lower. And that's just super awesome, because obviously the lower it is, the better it is for you to collect. But we have an issue with that, because then that means you're not going to get maybe the return that you want. So if I had a really fancy, 1 ounce coin or a 1 ounce bar, hey, I might get a quick and better return by selling this bar or this coin just because of the details than I would selling, let's use the Albion bar or the Meadowlark bar or even the Scottsdale bar, which is there. So you do have the collector's aspect. But for those who are investing, and I do mean investing properly, this is where things start to get a little bit different. Now, I do apologize. It's Valentine's Day, and for some reason, I just have this tickle in the back of my throat. Now, once we start moving past 100 grams, this is where you're really becoming, seriously involved in collecting. Now, we have a 250-gram bar. If you could imagine 25, oh no, sorry, it wouldn't be 25, it would be about 18 rounds. So almost a tube of this, okay? And you're going to end up with, you can see my camera when it has Ace and me in the background. Very shiny. But you'll see how this ultimately is much better for space and it's a very compact way of doing things. To me, this type of bar here at 250 grams is a great buy, but you have to watch out because some bars will carry a premium. And then we'll move on to these 10-ounce Pam Seuss bars. I love my 10-ounce bars, I really do. But if you're going to buy them, and this is one of those collectible bars with Lady Fortune on the picture. If you're going to buy one of these bars, you're going to really want to ensure that it's kept inside of this original case, etc., etc. And you're going to want to avoid handling it like I'm doing right now, trying really super hard not to drop it. And yeah, you will probably see a nice return. But again, not huge, not significant as the lower down. So you moved on from collecting, which is your basic 1-ounce coins, to now you're stacking. So in this category here of 250 and 10 ounce, you're now properly stacking silver. And you're in it for the long haul because not everyone could afford to buy a 10 ounce or a 250 gram bar of silver, believe it or not. A lot of people struggle just to buy the 100-gram ones. But there is places for everybody to buy silver at any price. And as you work your way up from 5 grams all the way up to, well, and you will see, but as you work your way up, you then end up building a nice foundation. Now, everything that I'm saying right now is just my opinion on how, or the reasons why I like to do stuff. I mean, I'm not giving you guys advice on how to spend your money. Spend it any way you want. Buy all of the, Maples, all of the Britannias, all of the Eagles that you want to. But as a collector, or as a stacker, shall I say, I start moving up. And in fact, I'm going to have to make way because I don't think I have enough room realistically to show you guys all of this. So then we start looking at things like this, which is half a kilo. And this is freaking awesome. This is super thin. And trust me, it is genuine bar. Half a kilo. Okay. Super thin, easy to put down, put in your safe, wherever you want it to be. And this is a nice way to keep your investment. This is a great bar to have compared to 10 grams. This is a third, sorry, it's not a third, it's almost half of what you need. Sorry, not 10 grams, 10 ounces. I apologize. I just said grams, didn't I? But, so you have this lovely bar. And this is a great way to stock. And once you get to this point, you then probably into the, kind of official club of, investment stocking. Now, Kind of a shameful plug, but I do make my own bullion, and I make my 1 kilo bars. And as you can see there's the ace, 1 kilo. And this is the very first bar, A0001. Still needs a bit of a polish because it hasn't been used in a while. Well, hasn't been out of my safe in a while. Now, again, this is a great size. It's a nice piece. It is, if I put it with an eagle, for instance, and you got to remember that there's just over 31 of these eagles inside of this bar. I always quote it on about 32 eagles, thereabouts. And I sell these for about £570. And because of laws and legislation, I don't have to have these assayed. And in fact, this one is not assayed. And that's just purely because, A, this is my bar for a start. I don't really care. And the second one is because it's a bullion bar, I can keep it. I do not have to legally have it assayed. Especially if I'm shipping it outside of the UK. So if I'm shipping it to America, then I'm absolutely fine. Which makes it obviously much more attractive to those living in America. But yeah, then you got the weight of 1 kilo to ship. But it's not too bad, £570 with shipping on top of that, obviously. But that's just today's price. That can change at any given time. But kilo bars are really super awesome. They're great for an investment. And as you build those up, you then get to these types of bars, the 5 kilo bars. Now, these are a monster. As you can see there, I have a nice serial number there. And just because it will not fit all the way in shot. These are heavy as heck. These are Volt bars. These are not something that the average stacker in the community will be having in their own households. Most of them will have maybe a 100-gram bar or 100 ounce at the most. But when you're looking at the 5 kilos, it's this is definitely a Volt bar. This is one that you just store it and keep it into a vault. So, what is my opinion for you guys? What's my advice? Because I've rambled, I've showed you lots of shiny stuff. Well, whatever your budget is, you will be able to not only stock silver, invest in silver, buy silver, but you can start working your way up through it. Now, I personally would say do not buy anything less than 1 ounce of silver, because you are just wasting your money. Watch out for gimmicks. Watch out for a lot of these premium coins, if you don't want to even call them that. Some of them are really great, and some of them can give you a great investment, and some of them just absolute joy and pleasure to own. But if you're looking at it for a financial point of view, and for a long-term stacking or saleability and everything else, stick with what is best in your country. Now that may just be American Eagles. It could just be generic rounds, and generics are the best thing in the world to buy. Generic rounds will get you your ground money, but can also produce, especially if you understand and know how to ship things across the world, can also give you a return. I get frustrated so many times when I look at everyone back home in America. Um, and of course, up until recently, you guys were not being charged any kind of tax at all. The amount of silver that if you just bought generics, even second hand in good condition or in great condition, what you guys were able to do with that was fantastic. You could have sold it over here with shipping and all that and still made a big profit. You know, for every 20 ounces, you probably gained 3 or 4 ounces of silver for yourself. And if you reinvest and reinvest, by in no time, you're getting a kilo bar of silver for yourself. It's 32 ounces of silver there. And then that's where it goes. So look at kind of the prospects. Build up your reputation in the community, make friends, learn, and then invest. And this is my bar of silver, right? All of this is mine, so I don't really care. Gloves are off, guys. Just stock, have fun. But know what you're stocking. Know how to sell it in the end. Know how to sell it even in the beginning. That will actually increase your profits. And a lot of people are afraid to do that. I don't know why. I know this was just my advice, my kind of tips, my little show and tell. I hope you guys have all had a great day wherever you are. And as always, keep stocking, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.